everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, and welcome. It's Thursday and it's 8 p.m. and we're here live for this week's edition of the Advanced Launch Weekly Live Webinar. Thank you for being here. I'm mighty excited to see you here. If you can see me, you can hear me, please do leave a comment. Let me know that you can hear me loud and clear, that you can see me, and then that let's have your name in the comments so that I'll know who is here and live with me. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here in our local in our country today. There have been a series of protests today. I just want to be sure that everybody is safe, keeping safe. You are fine and keeping safe. Let me know in the comment section that you are doing good, you are okay, and that you can see me and you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much for being here. As I already mentioned, this is the weekly live webinar of the Advanced Lounge community. The Advanced Lounge community is just a haven for people who are just learning and growing and becoming better, challenging their status quo, becoming a better version of themselves, on the daily basis. And so the community is just for people, like-minded people, forward-thinking people who understand that they are more, that they can be more than what or where they currently are. They know that there are still levels, there are still grounds to take, there are still levels to attain, and they know that for them to begin to move in the direction of doing better and covering more ground, that they need to work on themselves. And so we understand that the change that we desire is not only possible, it's actually predictable, but that there is work to be done, that there is work to be done that there is work to be done. So we understand that, and we are working on ourselves, and we keep moving forward and doing better every day. So thank you so much for being here. The weekly live webinars are just an expression of the Advanced Launch community, where we come together to learn. So anything and everything about personal development, about self-improvement is on our radar. And so we discuss these things and we learn. So this essentially is a knowledge sharing session where we just learn, we just dive into topics that border on personal development, and we just learn and equip ourselves with that knowledge and begin to apply the knowledge to our lives, to our everyday living, so that we can do better, so that we can position ourselves for more successful and better outcomes. So thank you so much for being here. And tonight is going to be very, very, very interesting. And I'm even excited to share. As always, I'm always excited. I love Thursdays because, Thursdays I get to come on here live and just share with you guys. And I've come to look forward to Thursday evenings. So thank you, because whenever I show up and I see you here, then I know that, okay, I'm not doing this alone and that we are here together. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Okay, before we go forward, my name is Tracy Akbera. I'm the founder and the anchor of the Advanced Lounge community. My job is very simple, is to show you the possibilities that exist. And I tell you the possibilities, they are limitless, they are boundless. And then to show you just how you can move from where you are now, to where you ought to be, to where you aspire to be. And I'm here to tell you that the possibilities, they are limitless, they are endless, and that it is possible. It's not only possible, it's predictable for you to actually begin to make that movement in the direction that you desire, that you aspire. And why not? Why not? You are made for the top. Thank you very much, Gloria. I see you in the comments. You're welcome. The top is meant for you. Why not? Some people try to okay, I don't know whether it's going, whether I would call it minimizing or something like that. You just believe that, oh, other people can go but you can't. Why not? So I'm here to tell you that you too are made for the top. I'm here to tell you that you too can be more. I'm here to tell you that you too can begin to take the ground. You can begin to ascend those heights. Yes, if not you, then who? You are that important, and there is greatness, there is that potential in you, to take those grounds, to take those territories. So if not you, then who? So I'm here to tell you that yes, it's possible. You can move forward, you can be more, you can do more, you can be great, because you are made for greatness, and because there is greatness inside of you. Thank you very much. Just help me go ahead and put in the comment section. There is greatness in me. Yes, personalize it. There is greatness in me. There is greatness in you. There is greatness in me, and that we can begin to take those grounds. We can begin to ascend those heights. And get to the destinations that we desire, that we dream of, that we aspire to. So thank you very much for being here. This evening, we're going to be talking about something very, 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 very important. We're going to be talking about the enemy within. Yes, the enemy within. Yes, when I say the enemy within, I know some people will be alarmed. Yes, Gloria, I see you. Yes, there is greatness in you. When I say there is that an enemy within, yes, some people will be alarmed, and I want you to be alarmed because recently I was really thinking out of the work I do with people, interfacing with people, working with people in the space that I do, and I've come to realize something, that many times we are the ones getting in the way of our own selves. We are the one, you are the one getting in the way of your own self. Yeah, so we see we desire these things. Sometimes we even craft these things out. We have a blueprint, we have a plan, we have goals, we have aspirations, we have this thing. But then to now get to begin to do the things that you know that you should do, then there is a problem, there is a resistance. And then I began to ask, I said, okay, so why is it that somebody will know that this is what they ought to be doing? They don't only know that this is what they ought to be doing, they know the benefit of doing that thing. But then why don't they actually get to doing that thing? That is where the problem is. And that is where I found out that there is an enemy within that is sabotaging us, that will not allow us to be great. And so this evening, we're unmasking that enemy, and we'll begin to name that enemy for what he or she is, and then we can now begin to have those discussions around that. But I found also that many times this enemy within manifests, whether we are conscious of it or we are unconscious of it, is going to manifest. But one thing is sure, it's going to get in our way of the outcomes that we want to attain, or that we see ourselves attaining. It's getting in the way, it's stopping us, it's holding us back. And so tonight we're going to be looking at that enemy within, and trying to identify some signs. How do we recognize when this enemy is at play? Because have one thing at the back of your mind: this enemy is there to stop you. Of course, you know what an enemy is. An enemy is not a friend. An enemy doesn't want what's good for you. An enemy is basically working like actively against you. But what do you now do when that enemy is actually within and not without? So it's not somebody that you can see, it's not an enemy that you can confront and slap him or punch him or fight him physically. No. So what do you now do when that enemy is within? And so that is what we're going to be doing in this session this evening. Very, very quickly, we're going to be unmasking this enemy within, and then we are going to try to look at some signs. How do we begin to recognize this enemy within, and how do we begin to recognize, how do we understand the signs, and then how do we know what is at play, and the effect of that enemy being at play. So please, you are here tonight, get your writing materials, and please be here. Remember that you cannot have a divided attention, you cannot multitask. Please be here. Just give me the next few minutes of your time, and let's just discuss this, and then we will take it from there. So this enemy within, without much ado, is we're going to just call it what it is. We're self-sabotaging. Self-sabotage, that is the enemy that we need to deal with. And unfortunately, as I mentioned, this enemy that we are dealing with is not an enemy outside of us, it's an enemy within us. And so, but we need to deal with this, because in fact, I saw a picture, and I think I even made a post about it, about this lady. She was trying to move forward herself. She was trying to move forward, but at the same time, the picture showed that she was pulled in an opposite direction. So whilst she was trying to move in one direction, you will see herself trying to move in one direction. You will see herself again pulling herself in the opposite direction. That is just a pictorial representation, if you're able to understand my description, of what self-sabotage is. So you want to move forward, but there's someone pulling you back. And this person is no other than yourself. And these behaviors that we exhibit, they manifest sometimes whether we are conscious of it or we're unconscious of it, but it's there. And so we're going to just be looking at that, this evening. So self-sabotage involves behaviors that create problems in our daily lives, and what they do is that they interfere with our goals. So you want to do this thing, you have set a goal for yourself. For instance, I've set a goal for myself that I want to lose weight. I think that's the easiest and the most relatable example that we can give, that everybody can just understand what we're saying. So you want to lose weight, and you have given yourself a target of 10 kg in this month of August. In this month of August, like this, or was it July that I just finished? Okay, let's use July since we're done with July. You have given yourself that, oh, this month of July is 10 kg. I want to lose 10 kg. But then, and okay, to lose 10 kg, I need to be, you've sat down, you have drawn everything out, you have mapped everything out. For me to be able to lose 10 kg, I must do this, I must do this, I must do this, I must do this. But then when is now time for you to get up and actually do the things that you should do for you to be able to meet those goals that you have set, those plans, those aspirations that you have drawn for yourself, then some things begin to kick up. I will do it tomorrow. Oh, it's too hard. Oh, you mean I will not, okay, let me eat this piece of cake for the last time. All these behaviors that come up and that are in direct opposition of your goals, of your plans, of your aspirations, those are the things that we call self-sabotage. They are the behaviors, and they create issues for us because they make us to fall short of our plans, of our goals, of our aspirations. Sometimes we really have good plans. Sometimes it will interest you to know that some people will even go ahead and make provision to be able to do the things that they want to achieve the goals. But then when it's now time to really get into it and do and take action, then you now find some behaviors begin to crop up. And as I mentioned, whether you are conscious or unconscious, some of this happen. And it's just sad that sometimes they happen unconsciously and we don't even know where they're coming from. But the truth is that they do happen, and the truth is that they stop us from being able to achieve our goals, our plans, and aspirations. So think about this. If you notice that there is a gap between where you are and where you want to be, but at the same time, every effort that you try to make to be able to close that gap. So I'm at point A. That is where I am. And I know that I should be at point B. That is where I know that's where I should be. And there is a gap. There is a gap between point A and point B. And then I know what to do. Not that I don't know what to do. I know what to do to be able to close that gap between point A and point B. But every time I try to make an effort, I'm being consistently met with my own resistance. Please underline my own, because this is self. And as I mentioned, the enemy is not with that. If the enemy is somebody or something, then we'll know how to deal with that thing decisively. Unfortunately for us, many times that enemy, that thing, that person that is stopping us is we by our own selves. And so it becomes a little bit tricky, because you are resisting yourself, by your own resistance, sometimes pain, discomfort. You are resisting yourself. And once you can see that there is no external party at work, I mean, nobody is creating an obstacle for you but yourself, then you know that this is self-sabotage is at work. And you know what? We have it on research has shown that nothing holds us back more than our own selves. Please help me write in the comment section. Nothing holds us back more than our own selves. Nothing holds you back more than your own self. Please, can you beat that? That actually nothing holds us back. Just think about that for 1 minute, for a few seconds. Nothing holds you back more than your own self. And so this is why we need to really begin to understand just how we can overcome this, because we need to be able to overcome self-sabotage to be able to achieve the kinds of results that we see ourselves achieving, to climb the kind of heights that we see ourselves attaining. But you must first deal with one thing: self-sabotage. And as I mentioned, many people unknowingly So you know that you are not where you are, where you want to be. But somehow you are not understanding why, what is happening. Most likely self-sabotage is at work. And many times we are sabotaging ourselves, and you cannot even, you don't even understand it, why. You don't know what is, you don't know why you are doing the things that you are doing. But you just know that you are being held back by none other than by your own self. And so this is something that we need to be able to, deal with, understand. So we're going to try to recognize what's going on, understand what's happening, how is this thing manifesting. So we're going to be looking at some ways, some signs, some things that, how this self-sabotage manifests. And the list, I've done a little research, the list is inexhaustive. It shows up in different ways. And so we're going to just look at a few in this class, and then subsequently we are going to be looking at more as in other classes as we go forward. Yes, Shekinat, I agree with you. Nothing holds us back like ourselves. Nothing holds on, nothing and no one. If you like, after this class, just go and sit down and go over the things that we'll talk about. And as I mentioned, the list is inexhaustive. So, but we're going to look at some, and then in subsequent classes, we're going to try to look at some other ones. Because if we don't deal with this subject, then there is no way. You are going to have the best of intentions. And I always say that intentions are good, but they're not enough. Intentions are good, but they're not enough. Who is writing? Help me write in the comment section. Intentions are good, but they're not enough. That you intend. That I've told myself that I'm going to read 2 books this month or last month. I told myself that I'm going to read 2 books last month. That was an intention. I even decided, okay, I'm not only going to. I didn't only say that I'm going to read 2 books last month. It is, and then begin to move forward. Thank you very much for being here. I had a little network glitch, but I see that we're back now. So we're talking about recognizing the sign, because understanding that intentions are good, but they are not enough. Yes, you can have the best of intentions, you can even have the plans, but then if you are not going to be able to overcome self-sabotage, you are going to get in the way of your own self. And what happens at the end of the day, you achieve nothing. So forget the plans, forget the goals, forget their everything. If you are not able to deal with yourself, if you're not going to able to deal with yourself in this manner, then you are going to keep sabotaging your own efforts, and then you are going to have nothing to show for it at the end of the day, at the end of the season, and all that. So that is what we're going to be looking at. First of all, we'll look at the signs. How do we recognize the signs? So there are some, as I said, there are some coverts, and there are some overt. So there are some signs that are very, 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 very subtle, that you may not even think is, but indeed it is what it is. So there are some signs that are very, very subtle. They are very covert. You if you are not careful, you may not even understand or know that, okay, this is what is happening to me. That I'm actually self-sabotaging by engaging in these behaviors. And then there are ones that are more, over. They are more visible, for us to see and know, okay, this is what it is. So, but we're going to understand both of them, and then we're going to be able to recognize the signs. And as I'm talking, as we're sharing, as the class is going on, please just begin to just reflect, because having worked with people for some time, I've seen Yes, I'm back. I don't understand my network. We must discuss this thing, no. But I'm back now. I'm so sorry about that. We're trying to see if we can change the source of the network so that we don't have any interruptions. But I'm back now. Please confirm that you can see me. Please confirm that you can see me. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Okay, so we're talking about some covert and overt signs of self-sabotage. And I said, as we are going on, I want you to be reflecting on your own behavior. So, because sometimes, as I said, these things, these behaviors, we don't even know that that is what we are doing. We don't even understand that these are the kind of self-sabotaging behaviors that we're engaging in. But now, as we are here, then you be as we're speaking, you can begin to at least begin to reflect so that you can begin to see if any of this is at work. And as I said, we're just going to start with a few this class, and then maybe in subsequent classes we will take more so that you can just be able to see. Thank you very much. I see you. Okay, I see you. Yes, thank you so much. Sister Bumi, I see you. Thank you. Say you can see me. Yeah, I see your comments. Thank you so much for being here. So the first thing we're going to talk about is resistance. And they call this the silent saboteur. The silent saboteur. And this manifests when you know that you have work to do. You have a project to work on. You have something new that you need to undertake. But somehow you just can't see you simply can't bring yourself to begin to work on it. There is a resistance that you. Oh my word. Thank you. Okay, so we're talking about the signs of self-sabotage, and we say the first one we're going to be looking at is resistance, and it's called the silent saboteur. And this one, as I was saying before the network, I'm sorry about I don't understand what's going on. But the silent saboteur, that's resistance. So this happens when you know that you have something to do. You have a project to work on, you have a book to read, you have exercise to go do, you have a task that you need to engage in. You know that you do need to do this thing, but somehow you can't bring yourself to get to go and do it. That in itself is self-sabotaging behavior. And this is how it manifests in procrastination. So you say, I will do it later, tomorrow, or avoidance. You avoid doing what you know you should do until sometimes it becomes very late. It becomes very late. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The network is very poor. But I think we have changed the source of the network now. So I'm trusting God that we won't have any more interruptions to the network. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're talking about resistance, and we said that it manifests as procrastination and avoidance. So you have something to do. You know that you have something to do, and somehow you avoid doing it. You procrastinate on doing it until it gets too late. And what you end up doing is that you end up rushing the work so that you don't do such a good job, and then you end up doing a less than good job and have a shoddy outcome. You have a shoddy outcome. So That is resistance. And I said, so example, when you try to avoid doing new projects, you have that initial enthusiasm, and then you go all in to try to do this, but then there is that resistance, and it's you resisting it's you by yourself. There is nothing outside of yourself. You are the one resisting. And so you are unable to do what you should do at the time that you should do at the time that you should do the task. And then what happens is that you procrastinate, you avoid until it gets late, and then you do a very shoddy job and all that. So underlining resistance is a fear of failure, a fear of success here. I say self-sabotage is very interesting. The kinds of behaviors that actually constitute self-sabotage, it's very, very interesting. So fear of failure is an underlying factor. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown. These are some of the underlining things that give birth to that resistance. So when you are resisting, when that procrastination is manifesting, or that avoidance, what is at play is a fear of failure, a fear of success, a fear of the unknown. And what this does is that it hinders your progress and it hinders your potential. So take for instance that you have a task in the office, and maybe they say submit this task, the specification and everything in 1 week. You procrastinate. Oh, you do this too. You delay until maybe the last 12 hours of submission, and then you enter fire brigade. You will enter fire brigade, and then you come out with something that is not good, is less than good, and then you submit it, and then you have supervisors, you have superiors in the office, and then they're like, who did this? What is this? And what that does is that everybody, you are not bringing out an excellent job, of course. And all this, remember who is at work? Self-sabotage. You are the one getting in the way of your own self to delivering something that is very excellent. And so these are the things. And when this is happening, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the unknown, these are the things that are actually at play. And if you don't know, you will just say, I don't know why I don't feel like doing the work. But remember what is at play. And I said that as we are talking, you want to be able to reflect on your own self when you are in this kinds of situation. And I was saying that everybody battles with self-sabotage in some form or at some level. Everybody, just that many times we don't even know what it is, and we don't know why it is happening that way, why it is happening the way that it's happening. But this evening, as we are discussing, you want to be able to be reflecting, and so that we are able to call these things what they are. But more importantly, we are getting to the place where we are able to overcome them, so that we have the kinds of results that are consistent with our aspirations, with our plans, and with our goals. But what resistance does is that it hinders your progress, it hinders your potential. And you remember, if you've heard me speak before, you must have heard me say that you have greatness in you. You have what it takes for greatness. You have what it takes for greatness. You have what it takes for greatness. But there is something, or there is someone that is standing in your way of achieving the kinds of outcomes that are consistent with the greatness that is inside of you. And we are naming it this evening, and we are unmasking it this evening. Self-sabotage. Another thing, so we are speaking about resistance now. So I know that as we are talking, as I mentioned, every one of us have been through these kinds of situations before. But sometimes we don't know why we are doing the things that we are doing and how they are even manifesting. We just know that we feel some kind of resistance to doing what we know that we should do per time. But this evening, now you know that resistance is actually yourself trying to sabotage you. So going forward, we'll know how we begin to call it, and then we'll learn how to begin to deal, with these things. But that is resistance, and that is one way. We are talking about how to recognize when self-sabotage is at work. Now, I know that sometimes when I said the enemy within, the righteous indignation in you will rise up and say, no, how can I be my own enemy? No, how can I not want what's good for my own self? But when these behaviors manifest, and they sometimes they will not take your permission. So they can manifest whether you are conscious of it or you are unconscious of it. They will manifest, they will comfort. But the important thing is to know what is at play and to know what to do, better, and we'll get them. So the next thing we're going to be talking is about hitting your upper limit. Let me write in the comment section, hitting your upper limit. Hitting your upper limit. Yes, I know this one is not, it's not so clear, but we'll get into it in a few seconds. So this one is called the invisible barrier. So just imagine, imagine as you are seated where you are seated, there is a barrier on top of you, and maybe there's a ceiling. There's a ceiling on top of you, and self-sabotage can actually manifest in you hitting your upper limit, and it's called the invisible barrier. So there is something that will not allow you to be great. Hey, it will not allow you to jump up. It will not allow you. When I say that there are levels, there are heights to attain, but how can you attain those heights if there is an invisible barrier over your head? And hitting your upper limit is one way that sabotage manifests. So what is this? Sometimes there is an amount of good there is an amount of good that we are comfortable with having in our lives. There is just an amount of good. Some people will now begin to feel uncomfortable the minute that amount of good that they have described as enough begins to come their way. And then once you begin to surpass that limit, you now begin to unconsciously sabotage yourself in order to bring yourself back to what is normal, to what is comfortable and what is familiar to you. So that is hitting the upper limit. So you have described that, okay, this is what I've decided that this is the amount of good. Let's give an example. So there's some people that say that I can't do a diet. They have decided, sometimes they have not even given themselves to trying. Just say that thing that people are doing, I can't do it. They've decided. So once they are getting into a space, okay, you want to lose weight. You know that you should lose, in order to be healthy, you know that you should lose maybe 10 kg. But you told yourself that, me, I can't. They say 10 kg. Me, if I try and lose 2, I've tried. If I try and lose 2, like this, I've tried though. Although they said I should lose 10. Or maybe you went to the hospital, said you should lose 10 so that you can be in the healthy, so that you're not obese or something. And then you just tell yourself that, me, I cannot lose 10. No, that 10, who they want to kill? Me, I'll lose 2. So you now come and start working on the 2. And the minute that you are seeing that, okay, you are losing, no, but you are exceeding the 2, you are now becoming uncomfortable because what you told yourself was 2. So if you watch that the scale is beginning to go to 3 or 4 or 5, you now say, no. You will now deliberately try to bring yourself within the 2 that is your comfort limit. That is what they call hitting your upper limit. And guess who places that upper limit? You, by yourself. That's why some people will say, I can't read a book, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. But who decides that? You are the one that has decided that. So no matter what anyone tells you that this thing is good for you, or this is what you ought to be doing so that you can have this kind of outcomes, because you have decided, because you have created that upper limit, that barrier for yourself, you have decided that this is just what I'm comfortable. Anything that they are saying no. Some people will say that I don't need more than 1 million naira. Once I have 1 million naira, I'm okay. So once they know that they are exceeding that thing, that target, that limit that they have set for themselves, they become very uncomfortable. And anything that they are doing that is giving them those results, they begin to sabotage themselves so that they can get back within that limit, that they have set for themselves. Is this sounding familiar? Who can relate? Is it sounding familiar? And remember what I said. I said it is most times it's unconsciously. This one especially, most times it's unconsciously that you do it. Many people will just reduce themselves and bring themselves into that space that they have determined that is their limit. I can't do more than myself. We say things like that. I can't do more than my own self. No matter what is happening, no matter the kind of result the kind of result that you can get, you think you can't do more than your own self. You can't do. And I know kill person. We say those kind of stuff. We limit ourselves. Sorry, I was seeing a comment. Kuma says self-limiting behavior. This sounds very familiar. Yes, I said it. I said that many of these things we do them, but we are unconscious that this is what we are even doing. But what is how it affects us is getting in the way of you having the results you know that you should have. Having the results you know that will give you those kind of the kind of success that you deserve to have. Some of us don't even see ourselves of deserving of some kinds of things. You see somebody say that, okay, those people they are wearing Gucci, or they are wearing, it's fine, but you remove yourself unconsciously. Why? If it's good for others, why is it not good for you? But we create these limits. And unconsciously, whether things are going well, we bring ourselves down. You must not exceed the limit that you have kept for yourself. And so you bring yourself down. You unconsciously, you sabotage what is happening, the good thing that is happening. And you know that even in relationships, some people will say, why is the person that nice? Why is the person treating me that nice? I'm not used to someone and then they sabotage it and they leave. Self-sabotage in relationships. You find somebody, maybe the person likes you, is treating you nice, is doing this, is doing that. You say, why is the person that nice? I'm uncomfortable. Why is the person that nice? Why should he be why should he be so nice? Why should she be so nice? And then you sabotage it, you scatter it, and you leave. Self-sabotage. We have created an upper limit, a barrier, an invisible barrier, and we will make sure. Remember, and please understand that I'm saying that sometimes it's even unconsciously you will bring yourself down. So that you are not unable to exceed the limit that you have put for yourself, the limit that you have determined for yourself. This is self-sabotage. People retreat when they are seeing success. People retreat when you are seeing success. These things are things that are happening, and many times are happening to us, but we are even unconscious. You don't even notice that is what is happening. So this evening, as we are speaking, please be reflecting, because everybody goes through, if it's not, goes through self-sabotage at one point or another. But this is limiting you, is stopping you from achieving the results that are consistent with the greatness that God has planned for you, that God has created you for. And so we must begin to confront these issues, because if you don't confront them, they will stop you. Despite your best intentions, you will confront it to confront you. In spite of your best intention, you will have the best intention. You will have the best made plans, but you will get in the way of yourself, and you won't be able to achieve the results that you want to achieve. And I'm seeing it. I began to wonder. I'm seeing, and I began to wonder. And I said that we must begin to look at this thing and begin to understand how the role that we are playing by ourselves, how we are getting in our own way of achieving the results that we are made to achieve. Thank you very much. Are you still here? How is this coming to you? Let me see your comment. Let me see your emojis in the comment section. We are moving forward. Time is flying by so fast. Let me see your comment. Let me see the emojis. Let me see fire. Let me see your emojis in the comments. How is this coming to you this evening? We are talking about unmasking the enemy within. What do you do when that enemy is within you? What do you do? And this enemy is real and present, and is right there, getting in our own way. But we are saying that thus far and no more. We must begin to do things differently so that we can get different results. Thank you so much for being here. So we've spoken about one, resistance as a sign, as a way that self-sabotage manifests. We've also spoken about hitting the upper limit. The next one we'll talk about, and I said that this list is not exhaustive. This is going to be, we're going to take this class in parts. So this is just the first part. We're going to be looking at a few of these signs this time, and then we'll look at more in subsequent classes. So the next one is uprooting. The habit of starting over is a self-sabotaging behavior. Starting over. And starting over in itself is not a bad thing, except that some people do not allow themselves to blossom. They are only comfortable with the process of sprouting. So you understand how you plant a seed, and the seed sprouts. But that's just the first thing that the seed does. It sprouts. That's just the first level. So it sprouts and it brings out the first shoot. The green will just come out. But it needs time to now begin to blossom and have fruits. But some people are only comfortable with the level of sprouting. So once they sprout and they can see that there's possibility of blossoming, they will uproot and go and start another thing. Start another business. You are here, you uproot, you have gone to another thing. You are in a relationship, you uproot, you go to another relationship. You are in a space, you uproot, you go to another space. Nothing do you, nobody pursued you, nothing happened. Remember, you started sprouting means that you are growing. Means that you just needed to give yourself time in that space to blossom in that space, but you uproot and you remove, you uproot and you go. This is a self-sabotaging behavior. People are always looking for the next best thing, the next good thing, and never quite sticking around to finish the things that they have started. It's a self-sabotaging behavior. Are you reflecting, please? This is uprooting. So we uproot. Once you have sprouted, once you have started, where some people will now stay and then water and then blossom and then it begins to bring fruit and all that. But no, some people will uproot. So you are uprooting from the spaces, you are uprooting from relationships, you are uprooting, you are just going everywhere. You are starting, but you are not finishing. You are starting, but you're not finishing. This is a self-sabotaging behavior, uprooting. So you are constantly starting new things and never sticking around to finish them. And then what happens is that because you are not allowing yourself to go through that process of growth, what happens is that you are actually stagnating because you're not allowing yourself to go through that process. Hey, yes, Bumi says shiny object syndrome. Yes, you are anything that is attractive, you have moved. You have uprooted and you have moved. Shiny object syndrome. Thank you very much. You have uprooted and you have moved. This is a self-sabotaging. So some people would mask it and say, oh, I like new challenges. I like trying new things. But it's actually self-sabotage because in that movement, what you are not actually growing. You are not actually growing because you move from here to that place and you are starting afresh. And so you are not giving yourself to grow. And this can affect you both in personal and professional development. You are frequently changing. Today, you are a musician. You are learning music. Tomorrow, you are learning painting. Tomorrow, you are learning this thing. So you are starting, but you are not quite giving yourself to the process. And remember, it's not that you can actually have diverse things. That you can actually have diverse interests. But this is this you see yourself doing well. Remember, you are sprouting. I want you to understand that fact. You are sprouting, so that means there's growth that is happening. It's not because you started something but you're not seeing yourself, you're not growing. So okay, I think I'm evaluating and then I'm doing. No, this is not it. This is that you are just attracted to something new, doing something different here, doing something different there, and unable to have that commitment to the long-term goals. This is a self-sabotaging behavior. And I said that the list is not exhaustive. This evening, we have spoken about resistance, about hitting the upper limit and uprooting. These are not exhaustive. I just want you to understand how these things manifest. And as I'm speaking, I want you to be able to just think. I want you to be able to reflect how these things play in your life, because self-sabotage is like a man's worst enemy, because it's you getting in the way of yourself. And sometimes, as I said, we don't even understand that this is what is happening. And so we are unable to attain our personal and professional goals because we are getting in the way of ourselves. We are getting in the way of ourselves. So what is the impact? The impact of self-sabotage. You derail. Self-sabotage. You know how, that Nigerian parlance that says that no grief for anybody. In this case now, you are contending with yourself, because as I said, you are not contending with somebody external. So it's not that you can go all out and begin to fight the person and you say, oh, I no go grief for you. No, this time around, it's our own selves. And as I mentioned in the beginning, we are the biggest culprits. Nothing holds a person back more than themselves. Nothing holds us back more than our own self. That is why we must begin to look at this subject matter and know how we can be able to overcome. And there are many things that we cannot get into in this particular class. That is why we are putting together a class. You can see on your screen, we are putting together a class on overcoming self-sabotage. It's going to be a class that we're going to look at the root causes, because some of these things, psychologically, there are underlying factors. So we're going to, in that class, we're going to be looking at the psychological underlining effects, underlining reasons. We're going to look at how to begin to navigate from that self-sabotage to self-mastery, because it's only a mastery of self that can help you to begin to understand what is at play at every time and then begin to work on it immediately. But the end result is that we want to be able to pursue our goals and attain them, because now what is happening is that we have these goals, we have these plans, then we have this blueprint for what to do, but then we end up not doing it. And so because we don't do it, you don't get the results that you want to get. And the results are, they are possible. They're a possibility, but we keep getting in the way of ourselves. And so what is the impact? What is the impact of self-sabotage? We derail our ambitions, our aspirations, our plans. We have all these lofty plans, all these goals, and they are very good. Our goals, our plans, they are top notch. But then we are derailed. By derailed, we are not able to achieve them. That is why year in and year out, people set goals and have plans and have resolutions and are not able to go anywhere. Why? Because we are getting in the way of ourselves. And more sad is that many times we don't even know that this is what is happening, that we are actually getting in the way of ourselves. And how does this come out, in real life? Lots of opportunities. We are losing opportunities because you are not following through, because you are getting in the way of yourself. You are losing opportunities. You are having stalled growth. You are having strained relationships, because this self-sabotage affects you both personally and professionally. It affects everyone, both personally and professionally. So it's something that we must pay attention to, because if we don't, then we keep dancing in the same circles despite our best plans. Despite our best intentions are good, but they are not enough, unfortunately. So despite our best plans, we'll find that we'll begin to still dance around in the same circles unless we are doing something about this. So I want you to be able to open your mind. Don't resist the information that you are hearing. Don't resist the knowledge that you are hearing. Look at yourself. Just reflect on yourself. I've done that. And you will see the areas where you are getting in your own way of attaining the kinds of results that you know that you want to achieve. So the impact is that we derail our ambitions, we lose opportunities, we have stalled growth both in career, in business, we have stalled growth, we have strained relationships because of self-sabotage. And then, you want to be able to get that in that space where you are seeing, okay, how does this really affect me? How am I really getting in my own way, so that you can be able to assess the kinds of impact that this is having on you. But it's possible to be able to break the circle. It's possible to be able to break the circle. And that is why, things like self-awareness are very, very key. In fact, I don't think there is any class that I would take that I will not mention the issue of self-awareness, because a knowledge of self is very, very, very key. And then an understanding, a reflection. You need to be able to sit with yourself. That is why it's very, very important to have periodic reviews of yourself, of your processes, of the things that you are doing, because you'll be able to see some patterns. That is why reflection is very, 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 very key. But there are some practical strategies that you have to begin to, to be able to embrace, to be able to counteract the effect of these self-sabotaging tendencies. There are things that you need to do. That is why I'm preparing your mind now. We are putting together that course. You will see the details on your screen. Registration details will be advised very soon. You want to get into that space, because this is something that we need to deal with. Self-sabotage is something that we need to deal with, because it's something that I have seen. I have seen from working with people, from interacting with people, is I've seen that we are the ones getting in our own way. That they say your village people, I'm sorry. I don't know. That remains to be proven and to be seen whether it's actually village people. But I do know that one very distinct thing that is working against us as people from being able to achieve our goals, our plans, our aspirations is self-sabotage, getting in the way of your own self. So it's very, very important that we open ourselves to knowledge. It's very, very important that we get the help that we need, from mentors, from people that and supportive communities. Get the help that you need so that you are able to navigate. If not, what will happen is that you keep on doing the same things over and over and you will not get the result. And the reason is not because anybody else, but because of you. I think this is what makes it very, very, it makes it more difficult, because it's not somebody external, it's we by ourselves. Is we by our own self standing in our own way. So we want to be able to understand how we are able to navigate. And since it's not somebody else that you can get into a boxing match with, there is a way that you need to deal with your own self. There is a way. And so that's the way that we are going to be offering in that course. So get ready. More information on this will be coming to us in the course of time. But we're putting together that course. It's going to be a 3-day course, and it's going to be solely on overcoming self-sabotage. We're going to bring experts that will help us to be able to also understand what is the root cause, because most times these things have psychological undertones. They have even as they are even responses, trauma responses. So we need to understand the real root causes of what is happening, and then learn the practical ways that we can begin to overcome this thing, so that we are able to achieve the kinds of results that we want to achieve. So we understand the root causes, then we'll develop the skills, we'll develop the emotional intelligence, that we're able to go from self-sabotage to self-mastery, so that we can have the tools that will be able to achieve our goals and unlock our potential. What is clear is that you have greatness in you. That much is very, very clear to me, and I can tell you right now that you are made for more. You are made for more. There is greatness, there is potential inside of you for greatness. And I always say, if not you for greatness, then who? Why is it that it's okay for other people to be great, but we are just in our corner, content in our corner? No, you are made for more. You are made for greatness. But you see, this matter of self-sabotage, we are going to have to deal with it, and deal with it decisively. And we have to be careful in dealing with it, because we are dealing with self. So you don't want to deal with yourself to the extent that you now become browbeaten. You are down and out. But it's the same you that has to go out and begin to run after and achieve all those big dreams. So there is a way. And this way we are bringing to you in this course on overcoming self-sabotage. So you want to look out for that, where you will have the tools to transform habits and achieve, personal and professional growth, and just unlock your potential for greatness. So this evening, we've been talking about unmasking the enemy within. And we have said that enemy within is self-sabotage. Is we by ourselves getting in our way. And we have looked at just what self-sabotage is. And we have tried to look at how it manifests. And how it manifests, we have just looked at a few. And I said that this list is not exhaustive. I've done it's a whole research. I knew that I couldn't cram it up into one class. And so we're going to have a few other classes on this, so that we can just understand how this thing even manifests, because many of us don't know. You don't know that you are in a self-sabotaging circle by the kinds of behaviors you are exhibiting, because you don't know. And what you don't know, you don't know. So we're going to try to even understand, how does this thing manifest? And so we have looked at, just in this class, how it manifests in resistance, in just being resistant to doing what you should do per time. And then we've seen how it manifests as us hitting our upper limit, where we just reduce ourselves into the small corner, into the small result that we are comfortable with. By the time you start expanding beyond that, then you say, no. You just bring yourself back into your small corner. And then that is hitting your upper limit. We've also looked at uprooting, which Bumi says is a shiny object syndrome, where we are just looking to Just go where is the, just go, just uproot and move, uproot and move, uproot and move, without giving ourselves, the chance to really grow, to really blossom where we are. And these are the signs, are some, not all, there are many, many more. These are just some of the signs that show that there is self-sabotage at play. And then we've looked at the impact, and we've said that breaking the cycle is possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible. It's possible for us to be able to navigate. First of all, we need to understand why are these things manifesting the way they are manifesting, the psychological undertones, whether they are trauma responses and all that. And so we are going to be looking not just at the signs, but we'll now get into the class to be able to understand the root causes and just how to overcome the self-sabotage and begin to have the results that are consistent with what all that God has made us to be. And I say again, I say that you have greatness in you, and you must stop at nothing to allow the greatness that God has made and put inside of you to begin to manifest, because the world needs your greatness. The world needs your contribution. That is why we must begin to pay attention to self. You must. It's compulsory. It's imperative that we pay attention to self, because I say that you are the most important piece of your own journey, not of my journey. You are the most important piece of your journey, so you must pay attention to yourself. And let's say, unfortunately, self-sabotage is a huge part, because getting in the way of ourselves is huge. We need to pay attention to that, so that we can begin to get out of our own way. Get out of your own way and begin to achieve the successes, the greatness that you are made for. Thank you so much. We are almost hitting the hour, and as usual, I don't like these classes to go over the 1 hour mark, but I want to thank you so much for sticking with me this evening. We had some network challenges, and so there were some interruptions earlier, but thank God. Thank you for sticking. Thank you for staying, here. Sandra says the world needs my greatness. I must pay attention to myself. Absolutely. I don't know if there are any questions. You can drop them in the chat box. Let's attend to any questions or any comments that you may have. We've been talking about unmasking the enemy within, and now we know that self-sabotage is that enemy, and we will be able to recognize some signs, of how self-sabotage just manifest. Thank you so much for being here this evening. I do not take your presence for granted. Thank you that whenever we appear here live, you guys are always here live as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my God. Oh, thank you so much for being here with me this evening. This has been the weekly live webinar of the Advanced Lounge community that holds every Thursday at 8 p.m. We are here, we are live, and we are doing this. And so that next week, Thursday by 8 p.m., God willing, we'll also be here live to talk about more signs and to take this class of on self-sabotage, beyond, because it's very, very broad. It couldn't be crammed in just 1 hour. So we're going to have to break this down in a few classes. So please keep a date with us next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. when we come and bring another edition of the Advanced Lounge weekly live webinar. This has been brought to you by the Advanced Lounge community, a haven for people who are just learning and growing and becoming, more valuable. Thank you so much for being here. If you can, yes. If you are not in the community, please do well to get into the community. Kuma says, can't wait for next week. I can't wait for next week as well. Please look out for the information on the Overcoming Self-Sabotage course. We'll be bringing that in the course of next week. We'll be bringing out all the details to register for the course. Please register for the course. We're going to go deeper. This is just us recognizing the signs of how it manifests, but we're going to go deeper because we want to be able to deal with it and overcome self-sabotage, so that we can be able to have the kinds of results that are consistent to where God is taking us to. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Tracy Akpera. I'm the founder and the anchor of the Advanced Lounge community. And I thank you so much for keeping a date with us this evening. See you next week, Thursday, same time, same venue, right here. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do the needful. Please click on the button to subscribe so that you can be notified every time we have resources for you. Please like and share our channel as well, so that we can have more people get to hear these truths, that we are sharing. It's expedient for everyone around you to be growing as you are, to have access to the information that you do, so that we can all be growing together. Thank you so much for being here. Continue to keep safe and be good. See you in the community on the advanced land, and see you next week Thursday at 8 p.m. sharp. Bye now. Good night. Cut.